Hi, it's Lise Reitzma, and I have a beautiful team member of mine waiting in the wings who I would love to bring out today. This gal is also in British Columbia for the moment. She's a beautiful team member. She's been around the company. She'll tell you the exact number. I'm thinking it's 8 years, but she can let you know a little bit more about her story. She's a mom of two. She's a wife. She's a busy lady. She runs her business in the nooks and crannies around her priority, which is her family, which I absolutely love. She shines brightly. She's a student of our personal development programs, and she's a recognized award winner in our community here as well. So, without further delay, beautiful Christina Henson, come on out.
Awesome. Thank you for having me here today, Lise. And I think you're right. 8 years coming up on 8 years. That is magical in itself because it feels like this is just getting started. Like every year here feels like at the beginning, right? Because of all the new stuff and all the new results that we get. So 8 years.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
And when you have kids,
Reflection.
time seems to take on a new meaning, right? Because then you,
Yeah.
okay, well, how old is my kid? Okay, well, that means anyway, you kind of sort of tick things off in milestones with respect to their ages. But anyway, come on out, share a little bit about your background. What brought you to the online business space? What were you looking for? And I guess, and share a little bit about I guess what sort of led you on a search and what you were looking for exactly in a new opportunity.
Yeah, well, I was in the financial world for over a decade. Absolutely loved it. Climbed the ladder very successfully, but there was a piece of me that really wanted to be that full time mom. And once I started that, I felt like I was put on the back burner, to be very honest. And it was that moment where I was like, okay, there's got to be something else where I can be that full time mom, but still have a career of my own, still have a piece of me, right? Because I think with moms we lose that piece. We put our kids first very quickly, and we get put on the back burner. So I wanted best of both worlds, and yeah, so I decided to quit the banking industry. Got into business with somebody and just the ethics weren't there. I could not stand tall and proud of and being in that business. Lost, a couple tens of thousands of dollars in that adventure, and then prosperity of life found me, right? It was just that moment of wanting more, clicked on a little ad, and the rest is history. Yeah, absolutely. I seen the big picture. It was very scary because I had no idea of personal development world. I was always taught be good, good things happen, but nothing at this level that we have. And yeah, yeah. So I wanted to be a full time mom, but I also wanted to be a successful, career driven woman as well.
Amazing. And I didn't know that about personal development, that being a fairly new concept for you, because I
Mhm.
know you certainly weave that very strongly through your parenting with your two boys.
Mhm.
Share with us a little bit about the importance of that with your family. I know that they're a shining example of the power of personal development and how that plays in their day to day, how you guys communicate as a family, your goal setting as a family,
Mhm.
how they encourage you, you encourage them. So share with us a little bit about that and how that's been a meaningful part of your
Yeah.
journey.
Yeah, it's wild because when you come together collectively, it's stronger, right? You can feel it, and the household is you stand on your 2 feet a bit different, right? Yeah, it's really cool to be able to have our personal development products playing all the time. They're always on in the car, on the TV, and it's the idea that we're all getting these concepts at the same time, and we're all keeping each other accountable for our word tracks, what we're doing, our actions. Are we taking the right actions? Allowing ourselves to fail, and then being able to come together and talk about it, right? So we do like 6 month sit down at the table at dinner time, and like, what are some new goals that we can accomplish together? We all have our personal one, and what's the family one? So it's beautiful. And I think that i don't I don't know any other space. This is your business and you're pulling that into your family life. I don't know where else that falls into place in regards to that benefit. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And I know you guys, your family and spending time together, enriching your kids with the values of personal development, and creating these independent men is little men, young men. We won't jump the gun yet, but is a really important part of your life, and what continues to sort of have you stay here. And so we're in summer break. It's July. We're a month into to full-time summer break. It's busy, right? There'd be parents that understand how chaotic that can be. What does your day-to-day look like? I know in terms of business activity, you're running at a pretty high level of activity. You've had some pretty cool results take place. I'll let you share a little bit more about that. But first, what does your sort of day-to-day schedule look like? How do you fit it all in with two busy boys at home?
You know what? Busy boys is definitely key with their description for sure. So in the morning, I don't have that morning time anymore. They get up with me now. So in the morning, we're all meditating in the morning. So we're all tuning in. What type of day do we want to have? What are our intentions for the day? And then we get into some movement. So our bodies get moving around, even if it's like 10 to 15 minutes. Very, very simple. So we're not trying to overdo it, but we're also encouraging those habits to happen all the time, right? So, I'll ask my son, have you done this? He goes, Mom, it's already a habit, don't worry about it, like that. That's the language, right? So very, yeah, so very not stressful, very, very calm way of in the morning. I get on the phone, they get into their reading for the day, because I do homeschool them as well, right? So they're doing their studies. It doesn't stop because of summer here. They know that if you don't use it, you lose it. So they're consistently in that space of their math and their reading on their own. And then I get on the phone and I power hour is what we call it. And how many people can I speak to in that power hour, and what are those results? Maybe I'll add in another one, maybe I won't, because it's beautiful out when we head to the beach. That's it. I ensure that I attend the calls that we have on our training. That's either in my ear at the beach, or I'm sitting here and listening. So pretty simple, if you ask me.
Totally. It's just discipline, right? Just carving out time, doing what you've said you're going to do in the allotted time, and then closing the computer, walking away, and enjoying the rest of the day, knowing that what you've done is enough to sustain and build and continue on that momentum and that trajectory that you're on, for sure. And so I got a cool message from you the other day. It was like, I hope I can share this. It was like, oh, I just hit my 10 plan and I'm in my bathrobe, and like, oh my gosh.
Goodness. It was hilarious.
It's so good though, because, I think, in my previous world, and I would imagine too in financial services, for sure, you're having to get dressed up and you're dropping the kids off at daycare, you're getting your hair done. Like it's, you got to be put together, ready to kind of greet people face to face. Whereas in this business, I've done prospecting calls in taxi cabs and tuk-tuks in Thailand, airport lounges, anywhere, grocery store parking lots, bank to sale there last week as I'm, piling through the groceries, and I'm realizing I'm late for a call. So I turned everything off and jumped on the call. And, but anyways, what's been going on in your business? I know, as we sort of talk about this discipline, you're very consistent. You've been building your team very successfully. You're attracting some beautiful people into our community. Share with us a little bit about what's been going on in terms of business activity and results for you.
Yeah, and I do want to share that this all came about making the decision to go to Super Saturday. So traveling across the world to Australia and really connecting with our community, I feel that was like that piece that I was missing. So I decided and made that happen. And then after coming back, it's just been full force, personal development. Every single moment I can is personal development. And then the business just flowed right in, right?
And just before, I just want to explain to everybody what Super Saturday is.
Yes, please.
People are like, what the heck is that? So Super Saturday is our internal business training day. So we set aside one day, typically towards the end of the year or start of the year. This year in 2024, it was in February. So we all headed down to the Gold Coast and attended a supercharged full day of training. So we train on, marketing, prospecting, how to build a successful team, how to create success long term. So all of these strategies that are really how to implementable steps we do in an in-person sort of intensive one-day training event. So that happens once a year. The next one on the calendar for This year is happening in December, which is very cool. So countdown is on for the next one. But just so everybody knows what that is, it's an internal in-person training event. But anyway, so this sort of spurred on this sort of re-ignition of excitement, connection, community, all that.
It really enforced the business works here, right? The business works. It's proven. We've seen it time in and time out. The personal development products work here, right? You tune in, you do the exercises that are recommended, it works. So the only thing was me, right? So what and who was I being in that sense? And so I was like, well, I'm going to be the next best version of myself. And that's when everything just hit. So I didn't change anything in regards to marketing. I just decided to dive into our personal developments on a brand new level, and results happened. I've been on this 7 to 10 plan on a consistent basis. When it gets, a little bit of a slowdown, it still happens. The numbers are still there. People are reaching out to me as I'm, placing more ads to connect to people. And then just recently had a welcomed a new team member as well this week. And yeah, just the amount of people that are being attracted to simple posts that I'm doing, from the conversations that we're having. It's the personal development that I'm doing that's getting me my results.
Yeah, totally. And it's who you're being. And that's such an important thing. It's the concept of be, do, have. We want it to be have, do, be. That would be ideal, right? That would be I guess the kind of natural state of humans, is we want to have it now, and we want to, do it after, and then, okay, maybe then I'll become that person. Well, success, unfortunately or fortunately, it works in the opposite direction. You've got to become that person who embodies all of those attributes and your vision of success. And it's sort of becoming that person will then move you in the direction of taking the action required. And then you have those results. And it's not like you turn on the light switch and it happens overnight. It's consistent discipline action. So you banked 25, or what would the conversion be? I guess about 2,500 Canadian.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Profit. Yeah. Yeah. So not too shabby for a
No.
week working around your boys at the beach and all those cool things that you guys are doing in and around all of your daily activities. So yeah, any I guess sort of last thoughts or things that are coming up for you that you wanted to share with everybody before we wrap?
I think it's just being honest with yourself, right? Taking the responsibility and understanding where you are now is what you've created. I know that's pretty hard sometimes when we're not in the ideal situation, but it is a place of creation. So if we were to create where we are now, we can create something different, right? Being consistent in what we're thinking, where our focus is where our attention goes, right? So if we can stay within our heart coherent, you can build anything, you can be anybody, and you can have anything. So make that energy become materialized in your own reality, and have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Have fun. Stop grinding out life. That's not what we're meant to be doing at all.
Yeah. I love it. Rachel and Rachel, who's one of the co-owners of our company, she often says, if you've created your circumstances, and if they're not ideal circumstances, you have the power to outcreate them. That's the law of the universe, right? So as you said, if you're in a state where you're feeling like, oh my gosh, it's really confronting to take ownership of my results, well, just know that the same energy and life force that brought you to this event can ultimately assist you in out creating and turning that on its head completely. So love that beautiful share, and love that you were able to take some time out of your schedule and connect with everybody and share your pearls of wisdom. Appreciate you, Christina. And yeah, that's all for today. Thanks, everybody.
Awesome. Thank you, Lise.